about your offense?
I think we're explosive. We showed some capabilities of being explosive, especially in the passing game. I think we can be in the running game. We had some shorter runs. I think we got to do a better job of blocking on the perimeter, and that'll help us become more explosive. But I think that's probably the biggest thing that I'd hoped for, that we had seen during training camp, and some of that came to fruition. So, yeah, you were. There's always things we wish we had back. You know, as Avery and I talked, I guess Sunday and Monday, you know, there's always a couple throws he wishes he had back. There's a couple calls I wish I had back, and as long as he and I can keep both of those to just a few each game, then we're going to play all right on offense. If it gets to be more than a few throws he wants back and more than a few calls I want back, then we're in trouble. But that's us looking through it with I think a critical eye and a critical lens, and it'll always be that way. But we got good players. There's times we didn't play real well, and a couple drives cost us. And in a one-score game against a really good team, you never know when that one drive's going to manifest. There's 3 drives that – look, I'm answering all y'all's questions right now. I mean, there's 3 drives that, I look at it and I say they cost us the game. And the first one being when we got the turnover was, on the 16-yard line, and, we can't make a first down on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and that's frustrating. And that's that's on me. I'll always take that. And then, we fumbled going right into the red zone. That would have been the second one. And then the other one was right before halftime when we were driving it and we got to the plus 31. And I don't like the call. That's one of the ones I wish I had back. I don't think I put Avery in a good spot at that point on 1st and 10. And then, we tried to throw a screen to get some yards back and had it blocked really well. But we don't get a field goal attempt. And that's where you at least want to attempt one and put the kid in a position to kick one. And when you lose in a one-score game, man, those 3 drives in the first half are magnified post-game. So those are the 3 drives that we wish any of those 3 outcomes would have been different. It'd have been a different game.
The 4th down misses. What kind of eats at you the most there?
Just one was an assignment, one was probably a technique, and I think there's just any time you don't convert, and you look at the scheme, you look at who's doing it and how they're doing it. You look at a call and making sure that you're putting your guys in the right spot. So, we evaluated all of that, and I think, the 4th and 1 you did make, we did a really good job, and there were some elements to that was a similar play call to the one that didn't work. So, you're still learning about yourself, and they were in something that was different than they'd shown over the last 3 years of scouting them. So you learn a lot of stuff.
Anything in particular you'd like to see your group improve on this week?
Yeah, I think, you go into a home opener coming off the road and the travel, and this is a direct answer, but maybe not exactly what you thought you were going to get. I want to see maturity. I want to see some guys that I think have started this week off pretty good, finished the week off well. And we've all heard about the lags, win or lose, coming off the Ireland trip. So I think I want to see maturity in how we handle these last 48 hours. And I think around here, 72 hours, our guys we try to pride ourselves on that. And the way coach has done a good job during this week of trying to take care of them physically, but still getting our work in. I want to see maturity in terms of how we're preparing for this game and then going out and when the lights turn on and there's 22 guys on the field that we operate at a high level.
Would you like to utilize any extra running backs while Dylan's getting healthy?
We're going to need to. Yeah, we're going to have to. So, whether it's you're obviously Joe, but, Devon and J.B. Price, and we'll see if Antonio, where that fits. But, you'll see some.
How important is it for you to get a look at the backup quarterbacks?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't need to see him right now. Y'all like my honesty, don't you? I think we all want to see the backup quarterbacks at the right time. And which one, I don't know yet. Yeah.
Between the weather and then losing Dylan before the first snap, how much did that limit what you got to?
Well, I think there were one more factor, and that's being backed up. So you start the year off in the first series off backed up. It was a little louder than I had been told, and in our research on the previous teams, it was loud. Great, it was loud for both teams, but handling the rain, the ball was dry for a minute until it sat on the ground for 30 seconds, and so I think that and Dylan not being there, and certainly he was a big part of that game plan. Not just in the backed up area, but everywhere. So there was a few factors contributing to a little bit being conservative right there at the beginning of the game.
Anything else? What was it like for you being down the field calling plays again?
Awesome. Cool. I've always said, growing up in the profession and trying to become a quarterback coach at some point and I'll correct myself, getting to be a receivers coach and a tight ends coach on the way to being a quarterback coach, all I ever wanted to do was call plays. And that's all, that I didn't grow up in the profession wanting to be a head coach. It just so happened. But to be back in that role again is awesome. It's fun. I mean, I'm supported by a tremendous head coach who absolutely knows what's going on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. Way knowledgeable, and I think that gives me confidence because he knows the why behind some of the play calls, and he knows he's part of the game planning process, especially in critical downs and critical situations. So, but it's fun. I thought our guys handled the sidelines really well. Our subs, all of the stuff that we as coaches stress out about in the opener because you don't get we're not like basketball. Basketball gets to go close the gym and lock the doors up and go scrimmage somebody. I wish we got to do that, and you don't get to do that. And so you're just in a practice mode and a mock game, and that's nothing like a real game. And but you're always worried about and wondering how we're going to handle all the situations and the subs. Our guys did a really good job with all that. So that was actually good to see live.